Hey there, folks. Welcome to, I believe, Dave 68, maybe. I should probably just do the math in my head. 64 was that, 65 was that, 66, 67, 68. We're on day 68 of my year of solo board gaming, described by some to be ill-advised and stupid, especially the not keeping count of where I am, which I really should be doing much more carefully. I actually have a spreadsheet of all the games I've done, whether I've won and lost them, and any sort of week, so on. So that spreadsheet exists. I occasionally forget to remember where I am with it. But we are on day 68 of in the middle of an adapt or die week. Adapt or die, we're playing games that are based on other properties. So far this week we've done Princess Bride. We did Shakespeare, which I know is a kind of a loose fitting of the category. But we are also doing two Choose Your Own Adventure games. There were two Choose Your Own Adventure games released over the last few years. Neither of them did, I think, particularly well, and I don't think they were well received. Well, it's because Choose Your Own Adventure is the sort of thing that works well as a book, but with the board game, it just became really difficult to sort of backtrack and to change the decisions that you made. And that's kind of the fun of the Choose Your Own Adventure, is that you get to flip a book and you're not really keeping that careful track of where you are. This is a much more complicated version than the first one. I also don't think it's done as chapters, and we'll actually be able to play through a full game. As you are, when you start up the game, you have 9 planets that you can visit, and they get randomly assigned these little trackers here that have numbers on the other side. And then you have 4 individuals that you're playing as. You're playing as all 4 individuals. You're playing as Commander Chen, Tara, Dante, which is a little robot, and Flipto. And each of these characters have things that they're good at, things that they're bad at. I think each of them has 2 things they're strong at, 2 things they're weak at. And each strength, I think, each thing is covered by, I think, 2 different people. And then they each get a randomly chosen item. There are 9 items total, and you only deal out 4 of them. The other ones that I could have had were things like the Hemog Karma Inducer, and then Void of Nero, Shelter Belt, and so on. Unusual things, to say the least. I kind of like this one, this Galactic Nabber from Earth, because I actually have something like this in the house, which is kind of funny. So you start off the game by reading these 3 cards here, which are the Lacunian Congress cards. And then at the end of it, then you're going to determine your starting planet, apparently. And then from there, we've got this giant deck of cards, story cards, and we're going to deal out some that are for the planet specifically and go from there. This is sort of like our clue cards from the previous game. These are data cards, and these will help us with locating. The whole point of this game is that we are looking for the evil Power Master, which is this dude right here, as you can see, which, as far as I know, wasn't an actual book for Choose Your Own Adventure. So the Choose Your Own Adventure people, the game designers, apparently just decided, you know what, despite the wealth of books we've chosen from, we went with this completely random new storyline. But you are attempting to find the location of the evil Power Master and then bring the fight to him. Now, ideally, what you're going to do is you're going to raise the signal tracker up to 25 and then go into a final confrontation. However, there's also this EMP meter, which will basically rise over time as well. And if that hits 25 and you've not found the evil Power Master, you have lost the game. So sort of a same track here, but whichever one of these hits 25 first will determine how you do. And you'll basically go up this based on the number of planets you investigate and sort of the doom things, the failed challenges or won challenges, and so on. So I think that's pretty much it. And we can go ahead and start with the Lacunian Congress thing. And I'm not going to read the whole thing because my voice is kind of sore, and it feels like you probably don't want to hear me read a whole lot. So I'm just going to summarize here. Basically, the evil Power Master has come back. He's destroyed a planet, Marzina, and now the 4 people that we have here are trying to get together and figure out where the evil Power Master is. The evil Power Master has such great lines as,
Give up, fools! Your time has come! Marzina is just a taste of my power. Give me total control of the system, or more planets will perish, including Hamog, Aruth, and Earth. You have 3 days to comply.
And you might recognize that voice from Role Player Adventures if you watched that, which I know you didn't, because I don't think anyone has. So basically, it's a little storyline to set us up here. I'm going to let you, if you really want to see the storyline, buy the game. It's not that compelling of a storyline. And then we're going to roll to see what planet we start with. So you roll the dice twice. We're going to roll, I think, over here, because I think that's more natural for me. So the first one is a 5. So that means that we're going to start with one of these 3 here. And it's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're starting off with Kroner. Now there's little symbols here that you'll notice that indicate the strength, the types of challenge that are prominent on this particular planet. So for example, on this planet, whatever the swirly thing is here, I should probably look these up. So the swirly thing is dexterity, because of course it is. And then this other one is strength, the one with the barbell. So dexterity is most common, then strength. Other abilities might be piloting, which is this weird I'm juggling a fortune cookie image. I think that's supposed to be an actual like steering wheel, maybe. Diplomacy, which is the handshake, and then perception, which is the eyeball. So that's that. So what you do to start off with is, because we're starting on Kroner, I'm going to pick this whole thing up, and we're going to look for Kroner. There it is. All right, cool. And Kroner 13. So we're going to pull these out, and we are now, we're going to move this here. And I think that's all we do. I don't think we flipped that yet. Start the game by placing the ship mover on the planet in that row and column, which we've done. And I think that gets flipped over when we find the whatever it is that we're looking for on the challenge. I'm just checking that. Yeah, we will, once we have found the data that we need, we'll flip this over and that will help us out. Well, let's start with Kroner. All right, we'll move this out of the way. Keep the stories up here. The Technicolor swirl of interstellar hyperlight travel. I also need to make sure that I'm... You know what, we're going to... Sorry for the interruptions. Let's get this over here. Let's get this over here. I'll move this whole thing around a little bit. I think one of the things that affects me is that I'm not doing a good job with is that I'm not keeping my face in frame. So now, a little more head on, so I can't lean forward as much to get out of the frame. So that should be good. I'm also a little cut off there, so let's go ahead and angle that up. There we go. See, probably should have done that like several playthroughs ago. The Technicolor swirl of interstellar hyperlight travel is giving way to the void of space when something hits the side of the ship, lurching it portward. All 4 crew members fall to the floor. That wasn't my fault, chirps Dante, as 7 of his appendages shoot out, grasping levers and knobs around Flipto, who's piloting the ship. Flipto, which I think that's how you say it, slaps Dante's arms off the steering wheel. I got it, you lowly bucket of bolts, he huffs. Flipto maniacally turns various knobs and flips several levers to get the fizzlet back on track. Dante slowly reaches an arm out to turn one knob Flipto doesn't see. The ship rights itself. Dante's single brow drops into a single glower towards Flipto. Flipto's 2 eyebrows respond with equal glower. We must be under attack, says Chen. He leans forward and flips the arm switch. Sirens wail, and lights bathe the ship bridge in red. Ready the cannons! Tara stands up, dusting herself off. Commander. Battle stations, barks Chen. Commander, shouts Tara, firmly placing her hands square on Chen's shoulders to hold him in place. We hit an iceberg. The view screen shows an image of a floating glacier. An agitated worker in an orange spacesuit waves two glowing sticks in the universal go-around gesture as he bobs weightlessly and looks towards a nearby mining vessel. "We must be near the ice mining operations of the moon Atlan," says Flipto. "I hear the snack bars there are bland, suffer from limited selection." Chen thinks. "A perfect place for the evil Power Master to hide. That guy hates snacks." "We didn't come here for snack time," says Terra. I'm never going to remember all four of these voices, by the way. She points at Kroner, a jade planet encircled by white rings. "The Empress's security force in Rhea City is legendary. If anyone has a lead on the evil Power Master, it's them." "Rhea?" Flipto ponders out loud. "Rhea. Yes, if memory serves, the snack bars there are exquisite. Regardless, the planet is nothing but a sea of hydrogen. One wrong move and we'll be lost for days." "Then there won't be any more days if we don't find the evil one's base," Tara snaps, folding her arms and gazing out at the stars. "And Commander, turn off the damn sirens." All right, if you follow the mining vessel to Atlan, go to Kroner Story Card 12. If you head to Rhea to find the Empress, go to Kroner Story Card 3. I'm this little tongue twisters here. Let's go to so what we want to do. Follow the mining vessel or go to Empress. I'm looking at the challenges, and I kind of want to go with the mining vessel. I think Rhea's not, or Flipto doesn't have the right sort of things for this planet. So if we follow Flipto's advice, we're just going to end up in a bad situation. Let's follow the mining vessel to Atlan and go to story card 12. Flipto lands the ship on Atlan next to an ice miner. The moon's atmosphere is nitrogen rich, so the crew members grab rebreathers to compensate before recycling through the airlock and exiting. Free item. Draw data 1. Now, it says 001. I don't think that there's going to be a difference. I think it's just 1. Rebreather. This plastic mask recycles exhale to oxygen, making it easier to breathe in thin atmospheres and to look stunning while strutting across a catwalk. Keep this challenge booster. Finish Kroner Story Card 12. So that's just a free item. Yay. Outside, a mining transport connects to a huge transparent tube. A flurry of ice flows upward, and the whole place sounds like a giant's trying to suck the last sip of water through a gigantic straw. The warmers of Chen's uniform kick into overdrive in the biting cold, and he does a double take at the sight of Dante wrapped in a festive scarf. At this temperature, they best not stay outside long. He marches across the excavation site to a worker standing next to a switch that labeled with cubed and crushed. "Good day, citizen. Seen any suspicious activity in the rigs lately?" Chen asks, flashing his Rapid Force badge. It's hard to tell where the electrotherm code ends and the miner begins, but a gravelly voice responds. "I keep my head down and do my job." He gestures at a structure nestled in a snowbank. "Ought to talk to my boss, Zyto." Chen nods to him and starts to walk away, but at the clearing of a throat, he turns. "Of course, the engineer did say he saw some strange lights in the rings. He's aboard the ship." He gestures to a ladder leading into the ship. So if you head into the structure, go to Kroner Story Card 2. If you climb the ladder, go to Kroner Story Card 5. And I think we want to talk to... Oh, we're supposed to actually keep the story, this thingamajiggy, we're supposed to keep it on here so we don't get spoiled. I think we want to go talk to the engineer. I think the engineer is going to be better because, you never trust the boss. Nobody tells the boss anything. They're just meant to be clueless. So we're going to climb the ladder to go talk to the engineer. Chen and Flipto crawl towards the hatch. Chen moves forward, only to face plant over a mound of pink ice flakes. Mounds in every color of the rainbow littered the hole like snow cones. Fluttering creature with wings and a glossy white carapace shoves Chen aside and sets about repairing the mound. All right, so required challenge, talk to the creature. This is diplomacy, and right now Chen is not who we want to have talk to this creature. I think we want Dante. So the primary challenges in this are dexterity and strength, which we want to save Commander Chen for. we want to go with Dante because I think Dante will do this better. So we're going to roll this dice. Dante's going to get a +1 to this, and right now our challenge level is 4. So I have to get a 3 or better. And I don't think there's no, like, you automatically lose if there's a 1, for example. So let's go ahead and roll this. 3. +1 is 4, and so Dante does it. Now, after you complete a challenge in this particular game, you have to flip that particular character over to inactive. Once all 4 characters have been used, then you can flip them all back to active again. You can reuse them in any order. But right now, Dante's inactive. However, we did succeed. We managed to talk to the creature, raise the signal tracker by 2, and continue below. So we're now here. And as you can tell, the challenge will get more difficult the closer we get to 25. We heard you saw some strange lights in the rings, Chen says. The creature can't speak. Instead, it builds a model map to respond to Chen. It flits over to a patch of clean ice, molding it to the rough shape of Kroner and its moons. Then, it spits gob of green goo to the location of the rings in question. Where did it come from? Chen asks. The creature buzzes around its creation before lobbing a neon orange bottle of spit where the far side of Atlan would be, home to an abandoned rapid forest base. Tired from its labors, the creature gives a blank look at Chen. Turning to leave, Chen says, Did you know that's where snow cones come from? Flipto smiles. Of course. If you fly into Kroner's rings, go to Kroner Story 9. If you head to the abandoned base, go to Kroner 6. So I think we want to go to... So I'm trying to understand what exactly this creature just communicated to us. We heard you saw some strange light in the rings. So it does the whole thing with Kroner and the moons, and then spits a gob of green goo into the location. But then where did it come from? And then pointed to an Atlan base. I think we go to the abandoned base. I'm hoping that that's correct. So we're going to go to story card 6. The tail fin of a crashed ship protrudes from a gaping hole in the base's dome. Still legible in the wreckage is the ship's name, Titan Ice. Get it? The crew clambers through the rubble-clogged entrance and begins searching, but all they find are scorched walls and remnants of mining gear. A fine snow pours through the damaged ceiling, making the place paradoxically smell like burnt ice. The stairs leading to the dome level are molten slag. The only way up is to climb the side of the crashed ship. And then we're going to do a little required challenge. I'm just going to make sure my phone's active. So we have to do strength. So we're definitely going to use Commander Chen to do this one. We need a 4. We need a 3 or better. We could go ahead and just discard this starting item now, but I feel like it's so early to do that. These are all used once, and then that's it. So, trying to get a... That does it. We're going to draw data card 3. Yay, I did it! Kroner Crunch Bar. As the crew climbs the crashed ship, a section breaks away. Inside is a Kroner Crunch candy bar. Could be used for extra strength, or to be flung at the evil Power Master to repel him. That guy hates snacks. I don't know where that's coming from. Keep this challenge booster. Finish Kroner Story 6. So we're going to keep that there. And Commander Chen is now inactive. And we're going to continue on back. The crew reaches the command center. Scuff marks in the snow in the dust show recent use. One monitor is blinking. Chen draws his weapon and creeps forward. As he reaches the tattered chair, the monitor lights up in the message. As he reaches the tattered chair, the monitor lights up and a message types itself onto the screen one character at a time, annoyingly. MISSEDME BETTERLUCKNEXTTIME IFYOU SURVIVE. The message is replaced by a large 10, which changes to a 9 a second later. Draw data card 8. As the self-destruct countdown continues, the crew sprints towards the hole in the floor. It will require perfect leaps to slide down to safety in time. Required challenge, jump into the hole. So we're going to have Tara... So one thing I'm not too sure about, I'm wondering if this might be usable and then just simply... Because it doesn't say discard. It just says could be used. So I don't know if we get rid of the challenge booster. Yeah, I mean, it seems weird to think that the crunch bar is... But we are going to have... We can't really have anybody with strength do this, unfortunately. And I think of the two that we have remaining, they don't have any sort of effect with strength. I think we're going to go ahead and make this easier on me. We're going to discard this. We're going to go ahead and make this a 3 or better to succeed. Ooh, that's harsh. All right, so we failed. So we're going to draw data card 11. The crew exits the base as the self-destruct timer reaches 0. The explosion erupts to the top floor and cracks the fuselage of the crashed ship, which falls and crushes everyone but Dante. Raise EPM meter by 6. Discard the disc. And choose a new planet to explore. That's awesome. That blows. That really blows. And I'm guessing that we can just put these back. The 8 and the 11. Alright, well, that was fun. I guess that's it for Chrono. Chrono, we'll go ahead and put these all back in order. 1, 12. I think I'm starting to see a problem with this game. Alright, so Chrono, unfortunately, was a washout. So we can go and we can visit one of these other other places. Let's head off to Ruth. And we don't flip that, but we do get a +2 here, so that's going to raise that 2 more. So you do have a time limit on this. Basically, the longer you take farting around with trying to find the data that you need, the more likely it is that you're going to just basically, like, the whole universe is just going to come to an end. There's Void of Nero. Proxima Centauri. Ruth is here near the end. All right. The Fizzlet slows down from light speed next to the Carpath, a space frigate sent to survey the destruction of Aruth. Apparently, the evil Power Master made good on his word and destroyed the planet, which is now a field of debris that hauntingly orbits an unknown center. The crew boards and meets with Commander Rostrum, who grudgingly gives Dante and Flipto computer access. Free item, draw data 65. Another funny voice coming out. Remote mainframe access device. This device allows Wi-Fi access to the Carpathian main computer. Not sure why Rapid Force is here. There's no planet left for lawbreakers to inhabit. Commander Chen considers the body bag stacked in the bay before replying. We won't be here long, he says. We're looking for... Oh, sorry, wrong voice. We're looking for anything to help us find the evil Power Master and make that no-good lowlife pay, adds Terra. Rostrum points to the ringed field of debris on the view screen. You see anything useful out there? Nothing left but a Varuth, but bodies and rubble.
Fascinating,
says Flipto, which earns him a glare.
That is, rings require a gravity well. When Aruth was destroyed, why didn't the debris disperse into space?
There is a hidden anomaly in the center, a gravity device. Sorry, I'm going to have to figure out a good voice for Dante, which apparently is a large candy corn with an eyeball. The car path can't get close enough to investigate, says Rostrum. We're too big to chance it. We can help with that, Chen says.
Whoa,
shouts Flipto, noticing something out the window.
Never thought I would see one of those.
I can't even remember the voice I did for Rostrum. Stop gawking, Martian, yells Rostrum. He looks at Chen. Yours is an undisciplined command. I mean, he's wearing shorts and a vest. Disgraceful. Chen's face turns bright red. He opens his mouth to deliver a devastating retort, but Flipto saves the situation.
Sensors detect a space squid entering the vicinity, Commander Rostrum, sir.
Flipto says in his most formal tone.
Red alert, says Rostrum.
Continue on back. The Carpath scrambles to their stations. Time for you four to leave. If you intercept the space squid, go to 7, and if you investigate the gravity anomaly, go to 3. Let's go to 3. We're going to investigate the anomaly. I think the Carpath can deal with this on their own. I think that's all the hospitality we can expect from Rostrum. We should examine the anomaly.
The problem will be the intense gravity. Whatever is in the center has the power of a micro-black hole.
How do we get close without being crushed? Terra asks as the ship clears the docking bay. Off the starboard side, the space squid approaches the Carpath.
We can use spacesuits. I can produce anti-gravity fields to cover each crew member.
The Carpath takes a hit from the squid's beak. Leave the ship with a giant hungry space squid out there. I mean, what are we waiting for? Okay, I can pilot us into range, says Dante. There we go. That's the voice.
I have confidence we can get closer, but with that intense gravity, piloting will be tricky.
All right, so required challenge. We have to pilot, and again, we should be putting that over there. There we go. We're going to need a pilot here. Flipto is the only active person, but he does have the pilot's ability. So he'll be a 3 or better. And I'm not gonna count that because it wasn't in the thing. There we go. All right. That bounces, doesn't it? Raise signal tracker by 2 and make story choice below. If you spacesuit up, go to a route story card 2. If you approach in the ship, go to 12. So we're going to go to 12. I think we can pilot this thing in. The battle between the Carpath and the space squid is not going well, Terra says, looking through the rear view screen. Equipment and bodies can be seen in an uncaring circular flow of gravity. Perhaps not a good time for a spacewalk. Plot a course. Yes, Commander. Dante engages the main thrusters, sending the ship into the debris field. A few moments later, also we can now flip everybody back over. A few long moments later, the forward thrusters fire, slowing the ship's approach. Dante pilots the ship through 2 rings of debris, deftly maneuvering around chunks of stone, metal wreckage, and the remains of unfortunate Aruthians. Inside the 3rd ring, the ship vibrates violently. A dull bang rocks the nose cone as it collides with debris.
Trying to compensate for the gravity. This'll get bumpy.
All right, if anybody has data 5, skip the challenge below, draw to data 63. Unfortunately, we don't have 5, I think. So, maneuver in high gravity. This is a piloting thing. Either Flipto or Dante can do it. We will go ahead and do Dante. And 5. Does it. Success. Raise the signal tracker by 1 and draw data 61. And as you can see, like, we're starting to run into a problem where the challenge level is going to jump up to 5 there in a moment. So 61. Okay. The engines whine as the fizzlet fights the relentless gravity. At the edge of the inner ring, the forward thrusters sputter and stop. It's hard to turn the ship as it accelerates into the gravity well, but eventually it breaks free. Just then, a rogue hunk of debris slams into the side, damaging the main thruster housing and sending the ship spinning into space. Go to Ruth story card 8. The ship spins into deep space while Flipto and Dante work to fix the damage. The space squid seems to be gone, but the Karpoth may be missing too. Rostrum has not answered hails.
That should do it. I rerouted the neutrino density capacitor through the variance function.
Our main engine's up?
Yes, I should fire the lateral thrusters to stop the spinning.
That would be nice. After the spinning stops, Chen closes his eyes until his stomach settles. Can we reach the device?
Too far for spacewalk.
And we'd be dead in space until we fix the main thruster housing.
I released a remote-controlled emergency beacon, hopefully so we can find someone to pick us up.
Required challenge. Control the beacon to find help. Okay, so move this to 61. I don't think we'll need that anymore. We're going to need piloting here, and unfortunately the only pilot we have left is Flipto. So Flipto's going to get to go. Four. All right, we did it. Because if we got the +1, that would put us at 5, but we didn't need to worry about that anyway. Raise signal tracker by 2, and continue below. A Delta Wing fighter appears, laser blast streak towards the center of the rings, destroying the gravity device in a burst of light. Draw card 151. Are we serious? The Delta Wing disappears into hyperlight. I guess we're done here, Chen says. A few interminably long hours later, a rapid force repair ship arrives to fix the damage to the Fizzlet. The end. Raise the EPM by 2. Discard the disc. Choose a new planet. I don't get it. I feel like we did what we were supposed to do. Oh, man, that sucks. That makes no sense to me whatsoever. All right, so that's it for that. So I guess we can go back to this. That's weird, right? That's very weird. Feeling we're quickly going to run into a situation where we're just not going to be. I think we're gonna die. 12 and 13 is 8. All right, so that was a Ruth. Ruth is now kaput. Well, let's head off to the Void of Nero then. Seems like a reasonable thing to do. Which means this goes up by another 2. We're at 12 out of 25. We're not doing good here. Void of Nero. Here we go. Reports of a strange energy beam lead the crew to the space frigate Menton, patrolling the edge of the Void of Nero. Flipto convinces Commander Chen to use the teletransporter to board the Menton, even though the commander has always hated being dematerialized. Sure enough, when he rematerializes on the Menton, the process proves less than perfect. Chen jiggles his foot a few times until all the pieces of his leg fall into place. The commander of the Menton, Sartan, appears. Need some help with that? She asks, a wry smile on her face. Chen avoids eye contact while Tara chuckles quietly. We have much to discuss, Sartan says, and then strides to a large view screen that reveals the Void of Nero, an immense area of dark energy. She taps a few buttons, the void enlarges to fill the screen, and a planet comes into view. Yesterday, that beam of unknown energy appeared on this planet, she says. But that's... Tara starts, stunned. Yes, it's Purple, the planet we saved from the evil Power Master during the Purple Days War. The thought of Purple raises old demons. Chen focuses on the task at hand.
Where's the beam been hiding?
He asks. Impossible to tell, says Dante, after analyzing Sartan's data. No known planet lies in its path. We need a void ship. There, I can help, says Sartan. She leads the crew to a small spacecraft shaped like an arrowhead. A void ship built to push through dark energy. Chen looks at Flipto and smiles.
Perfect, just like the ones we flew in the Purple Days War.
I don't recall these being that perfect.
A sleek droid is fueling the ship. You can take the droid, says Sarden. It's an excellent Void pilot. Dante clatters over to the droid and asks, What is your make and model? I'm a Proctor 331. I'm a pilot, astrogator, and companion.
We'll stick with Dante.
But Proctor is clearly superior to your rudimentary droid.
We'll stick with Dante.
Says Dante, cheerfully interrupting her in a perfect imitation of Chen's voice, that was not it.
Should we follow the beam to its origin or to its destination?
All right, so I guess our first choice is to go for the origin of the destination. We'll go for the origin, because that seems to be more... I don't know. I'm completely lost as to what I should do with any of this. Oh, and Flipto was supposed to get turned over, I think, because he piloted something, and then we still died. Dante flies the ship into the void and follows the energy beam into its source. Chen thinks about Purple. Without a star, its people lived in near total darkness with no technology. Yet they were a happy society that crafted tools, made shelters, and lived off the land. Why does this story feel vaguely racist? I'm just overreaching. That was before the evil Power Master subjugated them. He devised void-piercing technology and attacked the galaxy from the safety of Purple. We've reached Purple. Free item. Draw 18. Planetary scanners. Staccato beeps emanate from the console. All right. Well, we're certainly getting a lot of items. And I'm not sure if I'm supposed to give these out to anybody. I don't care. As Fizzlet orbits, a second beam flares on Purple and heads for them. If any active or inactive character has data 5, the team automatically wins challenge below. So otherwise we're going to have to dodge. And nobody who is active has piloting skills. So we're going to use this item to make Dante and Flipto active. And we'll start with Dante because I'm going to want to keep Flipto open for his perception skills. That's a 1. We'll discard this to re-roll. There we go. All right, so go to the Void of Nero story card 11. The ship lands on Purple. A sound like thunder echoes in the air outside the ship. Dante spins a quick, which we use this person here. Spins in a quick circle as creatures run headlong towards the crew from all directions. The crew is soon surrounded by Purplians carrying clubs, spears, and axes, their mauve skin barely visible against the violet sky. Purplians are short, none stands taller than 4 feet. Their hairless bodies look like they've been chiseled from the lavender stone. Yes, it's all coming back to me.
Yes. How sad you would fall into my trap so easily a second time.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Wrong voice.
Yes, how sad you would fall into my trap so easily a second time. Would you fight the Purplians again? Submit, and I may spare your lives and theirs.
If you decide to fight, go to 6, and if you decide to surrender, go to 8. Let's fight. I don't care if I lose this game at this point. I just want this game to be over. This game is so bad.
We're not far from the ship,
whispers Flipto as Chen and Terra decide whether to fight or submit. They both know if the crew escapes, the Purplians will be punished. If there's a chance to end this here and now, they must take it. They nod at each other. We know you too well, evil Power Master. If we surrender, you'll kill us or make us suffer forever. Chen whips out his blaster and aims at the evil one.
This ends now!
He screams and pulls the trigger. Nothing happens.
Did you forget where you are? Energy weapons do not work inside the Void of Nero unless you're inside a dark energy shield, which you're not. Ha ha!
With a last laugh, the evil Power Master slips through the throng of Purplians as they advance in the crew. If any active or inactive character has 3 or 36. Oh, we have 3. Skip challenge below and draw 26 instead. Okay. So, and we don't have 36 either. So 26. A chocolate bar, its wrapper ripped off, flies through the air towards the evil powered Rabbit Master.
Arg! Candy! I hate snacks! Ah!
He flails about, trying to dislodge the sticky bar from his clothes. His wild antics spook the Purplians, creating a hole in their line. The crew seizes the opportunity and races through. Sprinting away, they pass several smaller structures. Go to 3. After the escape, Flipto spots an access tunnel that leads to a tunnel.
I read about these tunnels in a report from the Purple Days War.
Can you find a way back to the void ship?
I believe so. I do have a photographic memory, you know.
Then lead on.
Dante extends a flashlight from his head. Chen goes into a tunnel. The crew blunders through the tunnel for what seems like hours, eventually finding the beam generator, which they study and set on Overlord. If any interactive character has 18, we have that. We automatically win the challenge. Finally, the crew makes it back to the void ship, which is guarded by just a few Purplians. Chen and Terra knock out one each, while Flipto and Dante subdue the third. After the takeoff, a small explosion disrupts the beams, which winks out. Draw 27. Hold on, sorry, just checking something real quick. Sorry, that's a good joke. I'm sorry to the designers of this game. If you stumble across this video and you go like, well, I'm sorry you don't like the game, you just have no sense of humor whatsoever. This is a very weird. I don't get it. I feel like I'm being punished randomly. And I think that's the problem, is that, the thrill of the Choose Your Own Adventure books was the idea that you might end up like just reading these random adventures, but there was no penalty to resetting. Like, you could just flip back to where you were. You just bookmarked where you were. That's where you started over. It was really easy to start over. This is going to be a pain in the butt to start over again. And it doesn't feel like I'm winning or losing because I have skills or lack of skills. I feel like I'm winning or losing because I don't know which choice you wanted to be the correct one, or any real way to know that that was the correct one or the incorrect one. So we found data. On the void ship en route to Fizzlet, the crew relaxes. Rummaging in the glove compartment, Flipto finds a map of the void's plasma clusters, which will enhance his algorithm. Turn over the disk and raise signal tracker the amount shown. And then if we have certain other things, we can raise it even further. So 59, 22, and SI3. And unfortunately, we don't have SI3. I don't think we ever had SI3. I was never one of them. 26 can go back in. But 27, we're going to flip this over. We're going to go up 9. So we were at 6, 7. We're at 7. We're now here. So we can take that off the board. And data find. Okay, so 27 is done. We're going to go ahead and put 27 and 26 back in the deck. We may as well go to Lacus, which is sort of centrally located. And we're going to raise this by 2. We still have all these items, which again, I think are supposed to actually go towards people. I don't know. There. Actually, we want the perception ones to go with the people with perception. Which right now is really just Flipto. It's kind of weird. Other than that, that's fine. So now we're going to do... we're going to go ahead and wrap this up with Void of Nero. Obviously, there was probably a lot more to explore. I like the idea that, each of these chapters there's a little bit of exploration, and it's kind of like unearthing a video game. And I know that you're only going to do it once, but again, it feels like I think I just feel really salty about the way that the Aruth one ended, where it felt like I wasn't making bad decisions. I just feel like it was just a random decision. And then we're going to go to Lacus. All right, Lacus. The crew enters the Rapid Force base to discuss their next move. An exhausted Chen drops into his chair as Terra paces back and forth. Flipto pounces on a Kroner Crunch bar while Dante noisily fidgets with the gears on Chen's desk. Free item. Draw data item 118. Spy gear. Give up, you fools. Your time has come, says Dante, imitating the booming message the evil Power Master delivered to Congress. Zip it, you gadget.
Wait a minute. Something about that message has been gnawing at me.
What is it?
Come with me. I have a hunch.
Commander Chen leads the group outside Rapid Force headquarters across the Klingda River and into the heart of the city.
You remember the terrorists who blackmailed Congress for $300 million Laconian dollars?
Didn't they hijack an intergalactic Lacunian transport during the Purple Days War?
I think the voice in their ransom message and the one in the evil Power Master's ultimatum are the same.
The group enters a 40-story spherical building overlooking the river. The terrorist hideout had been on the top floor years ago. After taking the shuttle stairway to the 40th floor, Dante extends a digital lockpick from his hand and opens the door. The room is dark except for a flickering light at the far end. Someone has been here, says Flipto as the group crosses the room. As they draw close to the light, the crew finds a computer monitor flashing a familiar message.
Give up, fools. Your time has come. Marzina is just a taste of my power.
The message to Congress. He sent it from here.
We need to find out what's on this computer.
Required challenge. Hack the computer. All right, so we've got a special one here now with the spy gear one, and we're going to give this to Flipto, I think. Yeah, this is going to allow me to roll 2 dice and add them together. So this is really key. I think this will, because now we got to get a 6, and he's starting off with +1. But we need the spy gear to also kick in. So we're going to roll this twice. We guess we don't need to. We got a 6 right away. All right, cool. Didn't need the spy gear. Draw data card 109. Now Flipto is inactive. Hacking the computers reveals the evil Power Master's plan for taking over Congress after it capitulates to his demands. Unit 3, possess Great Hall. Unit 2A, waylay Congressional Security. Unit 2B, access Computer Control Center. Unit 4, seize food distribution. Unit 5, occupy Information Center. Unit 1, neutralize Rapid Force. So let's go to Lacrosse. Lacus story card 11. And we'll put this back over.
They're so confident of success, must have hundreds of renegades on Lacus already.
Or close by. We should report to Congress. Grab the computer. Perhaps Central Computer Services can get more data from it.
I'm seeing some oddities in the plan. Could be a code. Code? What kind of code? Unsure. Needs further evaluation.
Required challenge. Decipher the code. This is going to be a perception thing. And I think I can just... I forget if items can just be freely traded. Ba da da da. Da 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 da. It doesn't really say. All right, yeah. As far as I'm concerned, I have the spy gear as part of my. So it does say that the player must have the challenge booster, and since you are the only players controlling all 4 characters, I'm going to assume that I have it. So as far as I'm concerned, the spy gear can be in Chen's control as well. Roll. Well, it doesn't really matter because we rolled a 6. All right. So we get to draw 11. Raise signal tracker by 1 as well. So should have raised that by 1 as well for completing that challenge. We now have 111. And Chen just tried, so it's no longer Chen's. Chen is now inactive. Let's see. It seems odd that the number of the plan are out of order and there is an extra N in neutralize. Taking just the first letter of the first word in each step and that extra N spells out the strange word poisson. Could that be it? Finish story 11. Poisson, asked Tara, what does that mean? The Poisson Research Facility. The Poisson Research Facility. Flipto and I worked there. We learned to listen to fish. It's on a remote island, a perfect spot for an evil power base. Let's go. We should report to Congress first. So we can either report to Congress or go to the research facility. Now, we didn't help out with the other ship, and that kind of bit us in the butt. That kind of doomed that ship. I'm inclined to go report to Congress what's going on, but we could end up losing. I think we're going to go to 5. I think we're going to go straight to the facility. I think we got to deal with this as best we can. So, what is this fish facility? Asked Tara as the group reconvenes in the Commander Chen's office. Chen explains that Poisson Island, by the way, poisson is the French word for fish, was home to a sea farm that raised 100-foot-long fish for food in the days before protein-modified hydroponics became a more profitable way to feed large populations. After that, the facilities turned to research on marine intelligence and communications. Chen and I were sent there to monitor fish communication before we entered Rapid Force. And after the Zondo Quest Group debacle. Reports show only a small crew of researchers remain. If the evil Power Master's minions are controlling that facility, they will see us coming and escape. Perhaps we could pretend to be marine biologists who love fine food and who are interested in their research. Sorry, that was the wrong voice. Perhaps we could pretend to be marine biologists who love fine food and who are interested in their research. Or we could sneak onto the island and spy on the facility. Either way, we'll need an unmarked ship. Required challenge, procure a ship. This is going to be diplomacy. She's the only person left who can do it. So, buckle up, Buttercup. She's going to get a +1. However, it's going to be tough because it's got to be a 5 or 6, because that's where we are with the challenge. 4. Not quite enough. Anything else we can do? Let's discard this at any time to get this item back, and then we'll discard it again. I think we had a... Those were... Technically, they list those as not challenge boosters, but as assist items that you use once, so I'm going to count that. So that lowers it to 5, and so we succeed. If you have a problem with that, I don't think you do, because there's a lot of commitment already to this particular story. Also, Tara is now inactive. However, that means everybody active. Everybody's back. Raise the signal tracker by 2. Continue below. If you infiltrate Poisson, go to 2, and if you spy on Poisson, go to 10. I say we infiltrate. I think we want to go in and just try to pretend to be marine biologists.
because both Chen and Flipto worked in the farm, so they should be able to handle this. Commander Chen raids the Rapid Force locker room and finds several unadorned blue-green jumpsuits to wear as disguises. Dante prints name tags for the jumpsuits and one for himself. Perfect. No one will suspect a thing. They fly to the remote island of Poisson and pull up to the facility docks. Nearby, a middle-aged man and a young man and woman are rolling up some nets. Security droids hover nearby. Chen jumps off the Sea Jet's pontoons and calls out, "Hey, can we give you a hand?"
Sure, we're always short-handed. I'm Dave. What brings you out here?
Bluff the researchers. This is a diplomacy challenge. So we're going to go ahead and have Tara do it. Do we have anything else that would help? Not really. So this could be bad. Yeah, that's bad. So we failed. We raise this by 2 and draw 119. All right. The security droids surround the crew. Most brandish stun sticks, but a few extended laser attachments, and take aim. During the battle, the group destroys many of the droids, but in the end, the entire crew lies twitching on the ground, stunned by 50,000 volts of electricity. Go to 9. Chen, Tara, and Flipto wake up in a room lit only by computer monitors. Dante lies next to Tara, deactivated. She reboots the droid, who comes online with a series of drowsy beeps. You've awake. I forget what voice I did. You've awakened. The lights come on and Dave, the apparent leader of the facility, walks in flanked by a half-dozen security droids and 2 human aides. I know who you are, and I can't have you disrupting our important work. To your stations, Jose, Louise. It's time. The younger man and woman sit down at computer stations and begin tapping keys. The screens don't show fish, however. Instead, the images of communication satellite and several planets appear. Send the message, says Dave as he strides towards the door. I must prepare for the next phase. Text appears on Jose's screen. Fools, you waste my time. Submit now or another planet dies. As the door shuts behind Dave, a timer appears on Louise's monitor. If anybody has 31, we do not. Get past Jose and Louise to the countdown monitor. So we're going to have Commander Chen use the rebreather because it's dexterity, and that means it's a 4, 5, or 6. 2 failed. Draw 121. So at a certain point, it just does feel like there's no point. Yeah. Let's see. Let's put 109. While we're in this section, we'll go ahead and put the rest of these back. Uh, 119. A timer reaches 0. A laser beam bounces off the satellite and races through space. On the monitor, the beam destroys another planet. Raise the EPM meter by 8. Hemog is destroyed. Discard its disk. The crew may not travel there. If you have data 31 or 34, or if Amos' disk is already gone, destroy Earth instead. The crew discard the Lacosa disk. Choose a new planet to explore. All right. This is a ridiculously long game. All right, let's put these back. Lacus. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Might as well go to follow-up. Commander Chen was the one who did that one, so we can make him inactive. All right, follow-up. Let's pull this out. After a harrowing trip through hyperlight, the ship enters normal space near Folop, a wild, woolly, and untamed world at the edge of the system. Folop is packed with dense forests, windy plains, and surly attitudes. It is home to oversized plants that know not how to stop growing and oversized beasts that know not how to love. I don't understand that. Folop orbits a large star and has a near constant growing season. Early attempts to colonize the planet failed when settlers were lost in the verdant wilds or were beset by terrible attacks from the loveless beasts. The most recent colony has fared better, allowing time for agricultural research to begin studying the planet's runaway growth. Orbiting Folop. What's the status of the colony? The intense solar flare activity has subsided, but magnetic field disruptions intermittently prevent scans. The colony has been out of touch for days. Could be the flares. Could be the evil Power Master. Communication with the colony should be possible, but I've received no response yet. We'll have to land to get answers. Dante, take a step. The comm beeps loudly, cutting Chen off mid-sentence. Dante's head pops open and extends an extra arm to punch a button and play the message. Folop's largest moon. Please send help. SOS. This is Research Group 32. We are stranded on Arbon, Folop's largest moon. Please send help. A looping message originated from Arbon, says Dante as he toggles off the comm. Isn't your cousin in? That's right. Colin was sent from Lacus to Folop as part of Research Group 32. He gave me a gift before he left. Free item 148. And if we want to go to Folop, hyperthermal binoculars that will help with perception, like all the other items that we have that will help with perception. Starting to get a little frustrating here. Dante beeps. We don't read that. So we can either respond to the SOS or we can go to Folop, and we're going to go to respond to the SOS. The Laconian code requires us to respond to official distress signals. Agreed, but this could just be a trap to lure us away from Folop. It wouldn't hurt to take a closer look. Dante, put us in orbit. Setting course now. The ship arcs around Folop towards its largest moon. The thick jungle covers most of Arbon. A few large rivers and a huge lake are visible from orbit. The rest is obscured by foliage. Can we determine if that SOS is genuine? All right, so we're going to have perception now. We're going to use the spy gear. And we're going to use Flipto, which automatically succeeded because we got +2 on that. Or +1, and then we're going to roll one more die, and that's going to make it anyway. So anyway, raise signal tracker by 1, continue below. The SOS is genuine, says Dante. Flipto analyzes Dante's data. Interesting. There's a background echo consistent with the evil Power Master's signals. So he may be here. We should land quickly and locate the research team. I really hope Colin is all right. I'm sure he's fine. I think it makes more sense to conduct an aerial search first. So let's do a search from orbit, because I have a feeling we are walking into a trap. We need more data before we land. Agreed. We should run a scan at the very least. Not possible. Magnetic interference has increased. I'm getting tired of that excuse. We can narrow the search. The signal emanated from the southern hemisphere. Topography suggests 2 landing sites. Flipto brings up a holographic globe. One is a sandbar at this riverbed, he says, jabbing a finger through the transparent globe. The other is the circular area that appears to be a dried-up lake bed. My voice is going, so I'm going to just do these normal voices from here on in. Tara reviews the visual data gathered while orbiting. Neither of these spots shows any sign of the research vessel, she says. Is there no way to determine where that SOS originated? Asked Chen, his voice rising up with his stress level. We can navigate the area to triangulate the emergency signal. So, we have an optional challenge. We can triangulate the SOS, raise the signal tracker by 2, draw data 71. The problem is if I fail, we did Flipto last time, so this will be Dante. If we get a 5 or 6, yeah, I mean, looking at this, if we get a 5 or 6, we succeed, and if we get a 1 through 4, the game's over. I want the game to be over. I want the game to be over. Draw data 71. Okay, bonus story choice. As the ship circles the southern hemisphere of Arbon, Triangular reveals the exact location of the SOS crash site between the two standing zones. Place this new story choice at the bottom of the follow-up story card 10. This option may be considered when you are ready to make it your story choice. Now finish story card 10. So we're going to put this at the bottom, and we're going to follow. We're going to land at the crash site. That's yummy. Dante beeps emphatically as he maneuvers the ship to land at the tight, log-strewn crash site. The crew exits to examine the damaged research pod. That was no malfunction, says Chen, pointing at scorch marks on the pod's breached hull. It wasn't lasers either, says Flipto, too imprecise. Tara walks towards a charred hole. Let's check inside for survivors. Black soot and the smell of burnt electronics are everywhere. Control panels hang from the ceiling, and glass and broken equipment litter the floor. A single computer station remains. Optional challenge. Recover the ship's log. Now, first of all, we can flip everybody back over. And we can use the spy gear. So, we'll make that Flipto. No. Yeah, we got to make it Flipto. So, +1, but we'll get 2 dice. And we succeeded on the first one. Raise signal tracker by 2. And then draw a 92. It appears Colin was performing a bioscan of the moon when the ship was attacked, but the computer damage destroyed the data. If any active or inactive character has data 18, which we do, planetary scanner, the team may discard it to automatically win the challenge below. Now, I think earlier I might have messed that up. I don't care. Analyze scans. Actually, we don't even need to delete it because the spy gear will just automatically do that for us. But we will go ahead. We'll have Flipto do it. 1, 4. Ooh, it's a fail. Oh, and that ends the game. Oh no. All right. So had we deleted it, let's just say this is a very unofficial thing anyway. So delete it. We automatically win the challenge. 93. Just to keep this going a little bit longer. I don't know why. We now have a bonus story choice. We'll just go ahead and throw this on here. Follow the coordinates to 11. Dante pilots the ship toward the location, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to read the whole thing. If we have 42, we don't. So we do have to do piloting, and unfortunately, the only 2 people who have piloting have -1, which means that there's no way that we can do this. So that means that we will simply have to draw 95, which is probably an end. Yeah, it's the end. Raise EPA. Yeah, we lost. I'm not going to go through the whole thing there. Again, so that's it. That moves into 25. Evil File Master succeeds. I really want to like this game. I think that there's some good parts to it. I think that there's a nice idea for a structure here. But oh my lord, I don't... It feels wonky. And I think the challenge level goes up too quick. I feel like the challenge level being 6 for this entire stretch is just way too much. It just makes it so that you're pretty much going to fail every station. And again, I don't feel like I failed because I was bad at this or anything. I just feel like it was just not really much of a game. Like there was nothing I could do. But that's it. Good Lord, this has gone on for a long time. This is over an hour.
which is a lot longer than I wanted to spend on this. Yeah, and so I apologize to whoever made this game. This is a Z-Man Games product, but the actual product. Prospero Hall, Mr. Hall, sorry. It's meant to be kiddie, and perhaps I should be looking at it from that point of view. That the game itself is not intended for adults; it's intended for kids. But so it'd be kind of like complaining that Candyland doesn't have a strategy. But at a certain point, I feel like there's still got to be some sort of game there. I mean, especially for the amount of stuff that you set up here. I kind of wish, like, instead of the challenge level being here, 4, 5, and 6, the challenge level is always 3, plus whatever's on the number. Like, you've got these things that have 1, 2, and 3 on them that appear to have no real purpose whatsoever. Maybe it does. Maybe I missed that in the instructions. They are signal booster planets, and the color and the numbers on them do indicate, like, they give you a different possible level of boost. So, for example, 4, 5, and 6 for the blues, 6, 7, and 8 for the yellows, 8, 9, and 10 for the reds. And so, you can go to whatever. Don't worry about whatever planet. Switching a planet is +2. Like, let's just say that. Every time you switch a planet, it's +2. But if this is on here, you can get that. Your challenge levels will be at 4 for the entire planet. But yeah, so you have a better chance at getting through it. It's an easier planet. But your potential reward is smaller. And then if you decide that you want to go for the red, yeah, your potential reward is greater, but you're going to be on 6s for most of the time. And it also sort of helps you decide, okay, so maybe I'll go for the 1s here first, and maybe these will have, like, again, it's a lot of, I think I'm overcomplicating what the game should be. I think that I appreciate all the effort that they put into designing this, but I feel like it just misses the mark. And I know I was sort of making fun of the storyline and that, but I think it's recognizing the audience. The audience is not a world weary, balding adult male homunculus who is playing way too many board games in the course of a year. The target might be for kids, but the thing is, I don't think kids are going to have the patience for this. I mean, it has an adult level of complexity with a kid's mentality in the writing, if that makes any sense. And I don't feel like this has the same thrill of choose your own adventure, because even though you are choosing certain parts of the storyline, you're making decisions at the end of every story, you don't have that sense of, I can just go back and start over. And I think that is fundamental to the appeal of choose your own adventure. Even in the Netflix thing, the thing with the Bandersnatch, and with the Kimmy Schmidt thing, they made sure that you could, a simple mistake wasn't going to be the end of your viewing experience. Like, you just simply go back and take it from one previous step, and I think that's really important. This is also kind of a mess to to deal with. Honestly, I'm taking the time to make sure I put everything back correctly, but this really is a complicated game to keep stored properly when you get right down to it. There we go. Kind of a pain in the butt. So now, put all these back. And then there's some epilogues in here, which, great. I guess these are all final. Good Lord, how long is the final showdown? I'm wondering if these are each different final showdowns.
wonder if these epilogues are like, I don't know. Anyway, that's the game. Take it or leave it. This has been Adapt or Die Week. So tomorrow I'm going to have a game that I actually do enjoy. I've played a number of times and I actually enjoy it quite a bit. It will not be the wine fest that this was. I'm just sort of going through this process because I think it's kind of interesting to put this stuff away, to actually go through the process of packing these up. And I think early on I said I was going to do this with every game, and I apologize that I did not keep with that promise, because I think it's important to like factor that into how long it's going to take you to play a game. Is how difficult is this to put away? How long does it take to wrap up? Are there a lot of like, is it fiddly in terms of setup? And for the most part, this is an easy game to an extent to set up. There's not much of a game board. There aren't that many pieces. There's like what? There's these 9 discs, which goes nice and into a convenient plastic bag that they gave you. There are 2 cubes. Again, convenient plastic bag, which you could also just toss. I mean, you could just keep them in there like that. Little token. And finally a dice. And I wonder what, like, if they planned on doing a third one and this just didn't sell well enough, or if it's still in the process. I also got to wonder why they didn't pick an existing property, because I don't think the Power Master was an original Choose Your Own Adventure one. Could be wrong. Somebody will tell me, or maybe somebody won't. That is it. Folks, thank you for following me, and thanks for sticking with me. I know this has been a slog. I will see you tomorrow.